Now we will see what is precedence diagramming method, which is also called PDM. It's more popular than arrow diagramming method and used by project management software. In order to design or model the sequence of activities, another technique that will be used is called precedence diagramming method. It is better than arrow diagramming method used as a project management software. So here the activities are represented by boxes. Arrows show relationships between the activities. Better at showing different types of dependencies. So as compared to arrow diagramming method, precedence diagramming method is much better to show the dependencies amongst different activities. So again, here in this technique, the activities are represented by using boxes like this. This is sample precedence diagramming method network diagram. So as you all can see in this particular diagram, every activity is modeled using a box, and the arrows shown relationships between all of these activities. So now we will look the task dependency types. So there are different types of dependencies amongst the activities. So in order to mention the types of dependencies in Microsoft project, there are 4 basic types of task dependencies. The first one is called finish to start dependency, which is also represented by FS. So you all can see there are 2 types of activities in the diagram. This one is A and this one is B. So finish to start dependency means that task B cannot start until the completion of task A. So as you can see in the description, task B cannot start until task A finishes. So similarly, start to start dependency can be represented by SS, and according to the diagram, task B start until task A starts. Finish to finish dependency, which is represented by FF. Here in the diagram, you all can see the task B cannot finish until task A finishes. So the last type of dependency is start to finish, in which task B cannot finish until task A starts. So in journal, there are 4 types of task dependencies: finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, and start to finish. So the next thing that we will consider here is basically activity resource estimating. Before estimating activity durations, you must have a good idea of the quantity and type of resources that will be assigned to each activity. So in order to estimate the resources you need to have the better understanding of the quantity and the type of resources that will be assigned to each activity in order to complete that particular activity. So you cannot identify better resources until you have a better idea of the nature of activity and the complexity of the activity. Consider important issues in estimating resources. So in order to identify the right amount of resources, you need to consider the important issues before estimation process, like how difficult will it be to do specific activities on this project. So here you have to define the complexity levels for each activity. So here you will identify such specific complex activities and you have to find the difficulty level of those particular activities. So the next point is, what is the organization's history in doing similar activities? So in order to, for determining the difficulty level of such activity, you have to review the organization history in order to identify the actions performed with the similar activities by the organization. Are the required resources available or need to be acquired? So according to the identified resources, you have to make sure the resources are available or they need to be acquired. So this thing should be finalized in estimating resources. So you have to find the complex activities first of all, then you will view the organization history in order to view the actions with the similar activities, and you have to make sure whether the required resources are available or you need to be acquired. A resource breakdown structure is a hierarchical structure that identifies the project resources by category and type. A resource breakdown structure is basically hierarchical structure where you have to identify the project's resources by their specific category and type. So now we will see what is activity duration estimating. So what is duration? Duration includes the actual amount of time worked on an activity. So basically it's the time which will be used to work on some specific activity for its completion. And what is effort? Effort is the number of work days or work hours required to complete a task. So you can say the number of work days or work hours required to complete a task is basically called effort. So the effort does not normally equals to the duration. Duration is basically the actual amount of time you worked on that activity, and effort is basically the number of work days or work hours required to complete a task. People doing the work should help create estimates and an expert should review them. So as a part of development and management team member, it is necessary for you to help in the creation or estimation, and for verification an expert should review those estimates.